So every year, one of my favorite parts of Christmas is just the Christmas music. And don't judge me for this. There are going to be some of you who judge me for this, but I start listening to Christmas music before Halloween is even over. And part of that's because I'm just not a huge fan of Halloween. I never have been really. It's just kind of, I just don't care much about it. And I just want to get in the Christmas spirit. So I listen to Christmas music a little bit before Halloween, but once December 1st hits, it's Pentatonic, it's Michael Bublé, Bing Crosby, Straight No Chaser. It's all the classic Christmas music. And every year, my favorite Christmas song is Silent Night. And the reason for that is just because it brings back so many memories of peace that I've felt throughout the years around Christmas time. It brings back memories that I have of my family just playing games and eating food together and just getting away from the world together just for a minute. It brings back memories that I have with my church family. Having Christmas parties, going Christmas caroling, having baked nights, just all kinds of different stuff. It just brings just good memories there. It brings back memories that me and my wife cherish together. Of our tiny little 600 square foot apartment with our tiny little tree in the corner. It just brings back good memories. It brings back memories of peace and calm. But what's interesting about the song Silent Night is that the birth of Jesus was anything but calm. At the time, Caesar Augustus made this decree that he wants to do this census. And so everybody has to go back to where you came from, go back to your hometown, and we're going to do a census. And so Mary and Joseph went back to Joseph's hometown, Bethlehem, and they were doing this census. And of course, it's an overcrowded city because, again, everybody's coming back to their hometown. So it's overcrowded. And of course, they're pregnant. They're about to have a baby. And so they come back to this overcrowded town. They ask this innkeeper, like, is there any place where we can stay? My wife is pregnant. Like, please help us have this baby. Please give us a place where we can have this baby and where we can stay and be comfortable, because this is not ideal. And of course, as you all know, or most of you probably know, there was nowhere to go. There was no room in the inn. More on that later, by the way. We'll get to more details of this later. Long story short, there's no room in the inn. And so they have to go to this stable or this barn, and they give birth in this barn. Some people say it's a cave. Some people say it's a barn or stable. They give birth to this place where animals stayed, long story short. And they're surrounded by animals. They're getting unexpected visitors, the shepherds, and they're dealing with the stress of an overcrowded city. They have no place to stay despite being moments away from childbirth. And it's really this chaotic scene. But in the middle of all that chaos, in the middle of all that stress, peace was brought into the world. And this is a peace that surpasses all peace. This is a peace that's almost tangible. This is a peace that can be felt in the middle of the most chaotic times. And here's the best way that I can describe this peace. Christmas is supposed to be a time of peace and relaxation. It's supposed to be a time of calm. But every year it turns into the exact opposite of that. Because we have Christmas parties to prepare for and plan for. And we have to decorate our homes, and we have to buy presents for everyone. And we have to send out Christmas cards to our loved ones. We have to make sure Christmas is special for our kids and this great experience that they have. We have to do all these things that we wouldn't normally do because it's Christmas time, and that's all on top of everything else that we already have to do. Work, church, raise kids, transport kids to and fro, clean the house, pay bills. All of those things are good things. But all of those things can be at times very burdensome to some degree. And every year around Christmas time, in the midst of it all, in the midst of all the chaos, I always find time each year to just sit in front of our Christmas tree and think about all that we're blessed with. Because my kids are sleeping soundly in their beds. We have a roof over our heads. We have gifts for our loved ones, which is great in and of itself. We're making special memories with our families and with our friends. And most of all, we do all of this for the glory of God. And keep in mind, God, the Father up above, sent his son to the cross in our place so that we can spend eternity with him. And the life of Jesus started as a baby. Think about that. The Messiah, the one who's going to save the world, came to earth as a baby who was reliant upon its mother and its father, as a baby who couldn't provide for itself, as a baby who needed everything from mom. That's how Jesus came to earth. And with this simple perspective shift, I'm able to find peace in the middle of the chaos. I'm able to take a second and say, you know what? All of this, like all this craziness that's going on, at the end of the day, none of it really matters. Like, it's important to do, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, none of it matters in comparison to the beauty of the birth of our Savior. And I would imagine that at the actual nativity, at the actual birth of Jesus, it was chaotic. Yes, they had visitors. Yes, they were next to animals. Yes, but in the midst of the chaos, they were given this beautiful baby boy who would someday save the entire world. And interestingly enough, the more we focus on the birth of Jesus, the true meaning of Christmas, the better we can experience this peace. And so my advice to you is if you're like me and every single Christmas seems chaotic and stressful, if you're like me, my suggestion, my advice would be to take some time to get away from it all and to just focus on Jesus. Perhaps if we were able to get away from the rat race of Christmas time, and perhaps if we were just able to get away from it all and just focus on the thing that actually matters the most, then our perspective will be where it needs to be. And then we can view Christmas for the peace and the calm that it brings. But if we're only focused on the gifts and the Santa and the music and the movies and all the parties or whatever it is, of course it's only going to bring more stress. So if you're like me, and Christmas is a time of stress and chaos, get away from it for a minute and just focus on the actual meaning of Christmas, the birth of our Savior, and then tell me that you don't feel some type of peace. That's my prayer for you, and that's my challenge for you. Tight lines.